Hi, and welcome to Edolab Markets. In this video we show you how Edo Flow Consensus works. Money flow indicators contradict each other constantly. One says buyers are in control, the other says the opposite. This engine does not pick a winner. It reads two independent flow measures and scores how much they agree. The result is a single number, from -8 to +8, on the flow score row. Accumulation, distribution, or no agreement at all. That is the whole idea. In the pane there are two lines. A fast one and a slow one, both built from volume. The area between them is filled, and the color of that fill is the first thing you read. Teal when the fast line leads, red when it falls behind. No numbers needed for that part. They are not two versions of the same calculation. They are two different ways of measuring where the money went. Underneath, the histogram is the distance between those two lines. Above 0 the fast measure is ahead, below 0 it is behind. What matters is not the sign on its own, it is whether the bars are growing or shrinking. A shrinking histogram above 0 means the two measures are converging, and the panel says so in words. When the two lines cross, the indicator marks it with a circle. Those circles are the events the whole thing is built around, the moment the two flow measures change their relative order. Green when the fast one takes the lead, red when it loses it. A cross with both measures already pointing the same way is worth much more than one against the other. The top two rows are the summary. Flow bias reads accumulation, distribution or neutral, which side the money is on. And flow score puts a number on the strength of that agreement, out of 8. A bias with a score of +2 is a hint. The same bias with a score of +7 is a different animal. The score is built from every row below it, so when you see a high number you can always trace where it came from. The next two rows show each measure on its own, so you can see where the agreement comes from. The first one is a money flow oscillator on a 14-period window, with its own bullish or bearish label. It is bounded, so it tells you about pressure rather than absolute volume. Above the midpoint means buying pressure has dominated that window. Below, selling pressure. The second measure is a 20-period flow reading centered on 0, labeled inflow or outflow. It waits where price closed inside each bar's range, which is a different question from the first one. And here is the case that makes this indicator useful, the two rows disagreeing. One says bullish, the other says outflow. That is precisely when the flow score drops towards 0 and tells you not to trust either. Then 3 rows for 3 timeframes, each with an arrow and a short label. Weekly, 1 hour and 4 hours, accumulation or distribution on each of them. When the 3 point the same way, the flow reading is structural rather than local. When they split, you are looking at a rotation in progress, and the score on the second row will already be low. In practice we use the weekly row for the direction we want to trade and the two lower ones for timing, never the other way round. The last row is divergence, and it has its own marks on the chart. A line drawn between two flow lows while price kept falling is a bullish divergence, labeled bull. The bearish version works the same way, up at the top, labeled bear. Divergences are the earliest thing this indicator gives you, and also the least reliable on their own. Which is why the panel shows them next to the score, not instead of it. Everything is adjustable. Let's open the settings. The moving average type and the two lengths of the flow lines. The normalization period, and the look back of each of the 2 flow measures. The 3 time frames of the block, the 5 display toggles, and with a scroll the colors and the panel itself. Cancel reverts everything, so you can explore without touching your setup. The indicator ships with 10 alerts. Let's open the Create Alert dialog. The 2 flow states, accumulation and distribution, and the 2 line crosses. The 2 divergence alerts, bullish and bearish, and the 2 score extremes. And the 2 multi-timeframe ones, which only fire when the 3 timeframes line up. Those last 2 are the ones we keep on, they are rare, and they are the ones that mean something. To recap. Edo Flow Consensus does not generate entry signals and does not predict tops or bottoms. It reads 2 independent volume measures, scores how much they agree, breaks that down row by row, checks 3 timeframes and flags divergences. Edo Flow Consensus is available by invitation only. Structure before signals, context before confirmation, clarity over noise. This is Edolab Markets, and we'll see you in the next video.